voy a ver estos dos quesos. Y el redondito, por favor. Y este siempre lo he querido probar. I thought we put together una tabla de carnes frías, quesos, embutidos, curtidos, that kind of thing. In other words, a charcuterie board. And I thought I'd bring you guys with me. Morning, sunshine. Now this idea came about because I feel like there's a couple of staples that everybody has in their fridge, and cold cuts and cheeses is one of them. So I wanted to show you what it would be like to get them without having to go to a big box shop. For me, one of the most confusing things is that most of the time these things aren't really labeled. So it's really hard to know what it is that you're buying. And when it is labeled, it has a different name that you're used to. Este es el que agarró primero, ¿no? ¿Es picante? The first place I went to focused on cheeses, and this one focuses on cold cuts. So aside from the cured meats, they have things that are preserved with sugar. Some are preserved with posh, which is alcohol, and some are preserved with vinegar. They also had an array of hot sauces.
Tienen ajo y las demás no.
Estas chiquitas
Tienen ajo.
tripa natural y tripa de plástico.
Muchas gracias.
Que tenga lindo día.
Gracias.
And on the way out, I noticed the lock with the Mexican ingenuity. She had popped it open with a cord. So hard to choose. So I just learned that salami is made of beef and mortadela is made of pork. I did not know that. New to me, hi, my name is Karen. And my daughters and I have been traveling full-time for 5 years, using Mexico as our home base for the past 2. So the cheese place carries products that are all made in Chiapas, and the jamoneria carries stuff that they make themselves. All the meats they make themselves, everything else is local. Around cheese, he suggested I cut it in half, put cooked chorizo inside of it, and stick it in the microwave for a few minutes. We'll be doing that aside from the board. So I started looking for a board and ran into a young boy selling macadamia nuts. But when I asked for the small bag, he gave me the big bag and insisted I buy that one instead. So I politely said thank you and kept walking without buying any. There's plenty of vendors that sell this exact thing, so I'd rather just go to one that is just gonna give me what I asked for. Nothing against his sales technique. I totally respect the hustle. To find a board, I headed to the mercado because I didn't really know where to find them, and I just asked at one of these stands to see if they had boards, and you know, they kind of sent me around to their neighbor. Gracias. Always check your change because people are busy and don't always notice.
Me dijo 120, ¿no?
They're very busy and it happens.
Y le di 200. Perdón. Sí, sí.
And sometimes it's hard to tell what the vendor sells, so have to ask, because you never know. I was actually so excited to have found the board. These things are so hidden. These tiny avocados you can actually eat with the skin on. I've tried them, but I've never actually had one, so that'll be fun. And it's like super thin. And it was so hot, I needed something to cool me off. So thank you, Ken. For my drink today, this is pozole, which is a traditional drink of the area, and it's made with grounded corn and cacao. Refreshing on a hot day, especially with that big chunk of ice in there. Con is that if you drink it fast, the little pieces of corn will go into your throat. So you have to wait for it to settle. More stops before we go home. Say that as a single mom, going to 20 stores is a lot. But also it's so cool to have things that are crafted by artisans. Yeah, as a single mom, I do not do this every day because my time is limited. But I found another person that sold the macadamia nuts, so I asked him for a small bundle and he even cracked it for me, which was awesome. I have to say that most vendors are very accommodating and respectful, in my experience. Of course, I treat him kindly and never ask for a discount. And of course, we can't have all these goodies and not have any delicious bread from my favorite bakery. to accompany it. Right before making.
Quickly just stop at the pharmacy because my daughter got like her gums cut, and I think that antibiotic gave her a slight allergic reaction, slight rash on her arms, so we needed some medication. Her doctor is available through WhatsApp, so I was able to text her and she gave me something to get for her right away. She answers super fast.
Then I headed to the store that I've never actually bought from, so I was kind of excited to go for my first time. They have an array of things that are locally sourced, locally made. I went for jam specifically, but they always have even like pastries and nuts and things like that. So I definitely wanted to buy from here. And this place I think is new because I had never noticed it before, and it's on the end of the door. And you can actually sit down and have a charcuterie board. I don't think I had seen this, but anyways, we bought some salami from here just to give it a try, but the prices were a lot more than the other places. And then Lácteos Maya, it's very popular for things like yogurt and ice creams and all things made out of milk, obviously. I was not
Planning to get ice cream,
but my daughter's gums will appreciate it. Last pit stop was at Casas, CHIAPAS. Here they actually let you try the cheeses, which I love. And I never go because, surprise, I can't eat cheese, but my phone died, so I couldn't show you the tasting. And we're back home.
Okay, we got so much stuff. Okay, first of all, this needs to go in the freezer. Okay, this is all the stuff we got. Wait, I think I got somebody's like that. That's all the stuff we got. Okay, let's build it and taste it.
And because my phone died, I wasn't able to show you where I got the honey from. I guess I'll show you at a later time.
This is the honey we got.
And I'm a sucker for putting everything that I'm gonna eat out so I know what I'm working with.
They're macadamia nuts, and they sell them on the streets. I've never actually eaten them before, but we're gonna put some on the board.
And that's kind of what we did. But the goal is to eventually build the charcuterie board for guests.
This is the orange jam that we got.
This is probably the cheese I am the most excited about because of how he explained how to prepare it.
Okay, this is way too big for me to taste it. So we're just gonna take out a little bit, melt it, and leave the rest for guests.
I mean, I think part of me wanted to just melt the whole thing just to see how it would come out. But I'm gonna wait until we eat a little bit of it before I do that.
I was not planning on buying chorizo. I was gonna stick to the things that had been like cured or dried or pickled, that kind of thing. But the man said that the cheese needed chorizo, so we got chorizo.
I always listen to the artisan that's selling me the product. They know best.
I remember in the beginning of the video, the lady told me that the chorizo is covered in plastic. So I took it out and squished it so I can put it in the cheese. From the first shop did say to cook the chorizo first because a few seconds in the microwave was not gonna cook the chorizo. So we're putting cooked chorizo into these. This is what we got. Whoa. Wow, it melts so nice. With a ball, which I melted down, and we're gonna add some chorizo. So this is what I went with, and I'm gonna put it on some bread. That is so good. Chorizo. The second chorizo is like Argentinian chorizo, which is the taste by itself is delicious, but it's not strong enough to go against the cheese because the cheese has a lot of flavor. The cheese is too sharp for the Argentinian chorizo, but it's just right for the other one that has stronger flavors. I have these three. The first one is this, which came with a little bit of hot sauce, and it's beef. The next one isn't. This one is pork, And that's this one. The mortadela because it's made from a pork. Last one is this one. Called salchicha ibérico, and it's from the ham place. The salchicha is a little bit like salami. It's just a little bit less sharp and more fatty. This one is kind of like a mixture between ham and chorizo, I would say. It reminds me of Dominican salami. Now these, the jerky. I don't know how to explain the jerky. It tastes nothing like jerky. It's super thin, kind of like a potato chip, and it's not chewy like jerky, and the flavor is, I'm at a loss. Next we have these two cheeses. They're from the last place I went to. Actually, we have 3 cheeses. And this one. I didn't want to take this one out of the container because they told me this was like brie. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about the layer on top.
And the smell was pungent for sure.
So like this is pretty nice. The soft cheese. I can see the resemblance to a brie. Not exactly like a brie, but the tanginess. This one is an aged manchego type of cheese. And this one is covered in spices. Not spicy, but spices. Both dried, kind of like Parmesan. She did say they didn't have any lactose because of the process that they go through. These two, this one is manchego and this one is queso crema. I bought them both at the first place. This is the queso crema, this is the manchego. Helpful to see how things are packaged so I know what I'm buying because they're not labeled. It's good, it tastes like what you would buy from big department stores. The queso crema tastes almost perfumey. It's the kind that you crumble on top of chilaquiles and all kinds of Mexican goodies. This third one it's also from the first place we went to. It reminds me of queso blanco, which is a Venezuelan cheese that we put inside tequeños, which are like cheese sticks. But it is a little bit more chewy and a little bit more bland. Obviously, you also get the flavors from the little pieces of pepper that are inside of there. All right, let's try this. We're gonna put in a little piece of bread. That is delicious. Delicious. It tastes like legit durazno. Like it's like eating a peach. Just like a really sweet one. Last but not least, how do I feel about eating the skin? I'm not sure. I don't think I like it, but it's avocado, and I love avocado. And CHIAPAS has the best strawberries. They're so sweet and delicious. Okay, so to resume, I liked everything, to be honest. But my favorites were this one, melted. I prefer it melted. The flavor profile changes completely. So that is my favorite, and especially mixed together with the chorizo and adding a little bit of honey. I think that's my favorite. This one is my second favorite, probably because it's what I'm more used to. It is like the closest to what I would eat on a regular basis. But the two that taste like Parmesan are also very good. Okay, like everything was good. Let's be serious. Maybe, oh wait, my least favorite was probably this one because it tastes a little perfumey. But aside from that, like, they're all pretty good. This one was just the hardest to stomach because of how it looks. But it actually tasted good with honey, because it's sharp. I do wish we had smell-o-vision, especially for this one. Especially for this one. If we had smell-o-vision, it would be a different story. But when you come into town, check them out. Don't stick to the traditional markets. Go to these places. These are great gifts to take back home. They're all things from CHIAPAS, and some, like this one, seem to be super popular because it's like extra special because it comes in an edible container as far as I understand. I think I was told that you could eat the outside. He said it was a layer of hard cheese. I didn't taste it.
But you can see the difference in texture from the outside cheese to the inside.
I think I would have just assumed that it was like a wax. Okay, I tasted it. No, it's cheese. It's not wax. At least it doesn't taste like it. Does my whole house smell like stinky cheese? Maybe, possibly. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.